Good afternoon, and once again I'd like to share with you what's happening in Gravenhurst as the mayor of Gravenhurst. This is March 26th, and there's a number of items to bring you up to speed with regarding COVID-19 and things happening in our community. First of all, yesterday was my return to the town hall after our isolation period, and it was a busy day, obviously, trying to catch up with a number of things, but it was a good day. As I've said to many people, isolation for me, where I live, is kind of the norm every day, where we live out in the country. So it just gave me an opportunity now to be able to meet with staff and be out into the community again. We're very strict around social distancing, physical distance from each other, and everyone that I come in contact are very much concerned about that, and so we're very clear about how we handle that. I want to also today thank the community in particular about their acts of kindness that are happening throughout, that I hear about and I see. One of the ones that you probably are aware of, many of you are aware of, is the hearts that are being displayed in windows. This is a gesture that many of the members of our community are demonstrating. It's a worldwide gesture, and it serves the purpose of saying we're all in this together. Some of them are large, some of them are small, some of them are blue, some are red, but they're in the windows in our community, and it just basically sends the message we're in this together. We work collaboratively, and we do the best that we can for each other. The other one that I'd also like to share and update you with regard is the Caretagian group and the work that they're doing in our community as far as being able to help citizens that are in need of groceries being picked up, drugs that are needed to be picked, medications, and so on. They're doing an amazing job. There are over 40 volunteers. That was started by Dr. McLennan out of the Cottage Country Family Health Team. A couple weeks ago we had the conversation about how do we deal with quarantine, those in isolation, how would we go about providing them support to get what they need to get. And through that he also spoke to members of the community, and I have to give a big shout out to Adam Crockett. So Adam took this on as being the coordinator, got a telephone line installed with a phone and with the 40 volunteers, and got that up and running last Friday, and it's working. One of the challenges that the group has had is specifically around the collection of monies, and e-transfers do work for many people, but for others they don't have the availability of being able to do that. And so they've now, with thanks to the Rotary Club, with Marianne Marshall, the president, and their group, they're now able to provide to this volunteer group $5,000, which is going towards assisting those volunteers in paying for whatever they have to do in order to get the groceries back to. So again, an amazing opportunity for our community to work together, and a real shout out to both Adam Crockett and to the Rotary Club for what they're doing here. I also want to remind everyone about the challenge that healthcare workers and frontline workers are providing to our community, and they're putting themselves and their families in many cases in line with having to deal with the COVID-19 virus. And I think we all need to, in whatever ways we can, to show our appreciation to medical health staff and to first-line responders and what they're dealing with on an everyday basis that all of us are trying to avoid doing. Town staff continue to provide support. Again, our town offices are closed. However, we do have lots of town staff that are still coming in, many that are home dealing with daycare related issues, but many that are trying to carry on the function as best they can, and that continues to be an evolving process. Some will, as we move forward, that may change, but right now and so much of the contact information you need, either by phone or by email, they're trying their best to be able to deal with issues out in the community. A couple of the things I'll share with you as well. It really is continuing to be important that we keep the issue of traveling from homes foremost. As you've heard from both the Prime Minister and from the Premier, we're all saying try to limit travel. Try to limit the travel so that we're all staying as close to home as possible. And it's important, again, to remember about the social and physical distancing that we're keeping with each other. Again, a reminder, these are all reminders that you're hearing pretty regularly, to continue washing your hands and do that thoroughly. And, regarding self-isolation, that we continue to do that. And one of the things that surfaced and has been brought up in a few locations is regarding those that are returning, particularly the snowbirds that are returning from the U.S. and from other locations. One of the things I mentioned today is that we can't assume that they've received all of the media information and information that we've received in Canada directly from the Prime Minister and from the Premier in Ontario. We can't assume that they know all of that, but what we can do is as neighbors, if you see and one of your neighbors is coming back as a snowbird and coming back to Ontario, tell them about the significance around this. And as recent as yesterday, it is now a requirement under the Quarantine Act that those that are returning must go into isolation. So as a good neighbor, it's important for us to say, by the way, you need to know that you need to go into isolation officially and required by the law as of yesterday to do so. So we can do that, and I think we do that as a neighbor and collaboratively without being confrontational. A couple of other things I'll share with you today is yesterday, the District of Muskoka had our first electronic meeting, which has now been allowed by the Province of Ontario. And it was also streamed, which they typically do anyway at our district council meetings. So some of the highlights that came yesterday, so all of our district council, for the most part, were all on what we're using, many groups are using is called Zoom meeting. And access was from their homes for the most part, and it worked pretty well. And again, a process we're going to use here on Friday, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. But a couple things to bring to your attention. First of all, the district passed unanimously a motion that waives penalties for unpaid taxes for a period determined by lower tiers. Each of the lower tier councils are going to be dealing with that in the next day or so, today and tomorrow, and probably the next couple of days next week. They're all dealing with this and recognizing this is an issue in all municipalities, not just across Ontario, but specifically in Muskoka. So that is being dealt with, and there'll be more news coming out about that. Basically looking at waiving fees for the next 60 days. But before we can actually give the details, that does come to council tomorrow for a final discussion on that. One of the things I want to also share with you is regarding water and sewer bills. Some people have been asking about that. Water and sewer bills was a motion also brought forward by district to council last night. And there are three related issues to that, and these are being extended from March 25th, yesterday, till May 31st, which is penalties are being waived for water and sewer bills that are due, waiving fees for payments which are returned by the banks as non-sufficient funds, and discontinuing the process of terminating services due to non-payment. So that's all going to take place from now till the end of May at this point. Let me tell you a little bit about Gravenhurst. So tomorrow, Friday, March the 27th, we will be hosting our first electronic meeting on the part of our councillors who will be coming in from home on their computers. And the second part is that this will be another historical event for the town of Gravenhurst. We'll be streaming using the district facility of being able to allow community to be able to access our meeting tomorrow. So it starts at 9:30. More information is on our website with regard to the agenda and the link that you'll be able to go to see the streaming meeting. It is a first, and we're looking forward to the opportunity to share and allow people to hear. We don't have a large agenda, but there are some items that we do need to address. Also to let you know that our departments in the town hall are working really diligently to make sure that our programs are consistent and carrying on forward. And they're presently dealing with the need for staffing and how that might continue to be, as well as the workload that each of the staff members are taking on. We still, as I mentioned previously, we do have staff members that do have daycare issues that they're going to need to consider as well. You'll also find on our website, and you should be aware of the website. Once again, I'll remind you, it's www.gravenhurst.ca/COVID-19. Remind you to go there regularly. We are providing details, and there's links to the Simcoe District Health Unit as well. It also reminds you about essential services that the province identified on Tuesday, effective Tuesday. It's important for you to make sure you check that list of essential businesses that are allowed to stay open. Also, a couple of other notes in case you haven't seen it. The province also declared that electricity rates are going to stay at the low peak period. throughout the days for the next 45 days, which should be a real benefit to those that are experiencing challenges financially. That's really important to know that that's now happening. You'll also see on the website a note about waste collection, and some of the changes that will come about as a result of challenges in that area. Finally, I want to give one big thank you to everyone in our community for their caring and empathy that I believe we're showing as community. I think we're working as fellow citizens and working collaboratively. Another little note to let you know about is effective today. I'm on the Moose with Kathy Jennings each morning. Usually it'll be on just after 9 o'clock, and with updates there as well. I plan on providing another update early next week on Monday to keep you apprised of what's happening. So thank you for joining me. Thank you for looking at the video. Hope this is helpful, and we'll continue to keep communicating. And once again, thank you to the community for all you do and for helping us to work collaboratively to get through this. Thank you, everyone.